there is one thing that concerns me the most about this game from an LSU perspective, and it's Texas A&M pass rush. And that's not because I think Texas A&M's pass rush is their strength, although it is very good. I think that all of a sudden now LSU's pass blocking becomes kind of vital here to hanging in this game. I say that because of this. Do you think LSU is going to show up and really run the ball right at Texas A&M? Like, I don't think so. That would surprise me. They ran it better against South Carolina. They ran it better against Vanderbilt at times. Harlem Berry showed some things. You've seen some improvement in the running game, but it's not a dominant rushing attack. LSU's best opportunity to move the ball and to improve offensively, which I've said for weeks now, is throwing the football. It's Garrett Nussmeier throwing the ball to Xavion Thomas making plays, and Aaron Anderson getting healthier and making plays, and Trey'Dez Green being a mismatch. Those guys on the perimeter are LSU's best opportunity at improving on offense. And I look at Texas A&M, and they've got statistically a pretty average passing defense. They're 9th in the SEC, 200 yards a game. They've given up 11 touchdowns through the air. As far as completion percentage goes, A&M's middle of the road at 7th. They're allowing 60% completion. It's not great. It's not terrible. But I think it's LSU's best chance to move the ball throwing it. But as I said in the first hour, and I hold true to this, with Tyree Adams out, and he's not going to play, I don't believe LSU has an SEC tackle available. That's harsh. I don't love calling players out, but I can't watch this tape. I can't look at this Pro Football Focus grade. I can't see these highlights and not immediately look to LSU at left tackle and right tackle and go, this is a problem. And Texas A&M comes into this game 6th in the country in sacks. Cassius Howell has been awesome. He's got 7.5 sacks thus far coming off the edge. He's a terror off the edge. He leads the conference. He's ahead of Colin Simmons at Texas. He's ahead of R. Mason Thomas at Oklahoma. Like, he's been great, averaging a sack a game. And you got to deal with him. Deion Hayes on the other side, 3.5 sacks. That's more than anybody at LSU has. So those two guys have combined for 11 sacks for Texas A&M. A&M as a group, 5 sacks against Auburn, 4 sacks against Mississippi State, 3 sacks against Florida, 4 more sacks against Arkansas. They get back there. They get after it. And Jackson Arnold's a good athlete. And obviously, Taylon Green's a good athlete. DJ Lagway moves okay. Blake Shapen moves okay. Nussmeier probably the least athletic of the lot. I think Mike Elko is going to come after Garrett Nussmeier. I think he wants that ball coming out quickly. Did you watch the game in College Station last year? LSU was comfortable in the first half. Nussmeier was comfortable in the first half. He really picked Texas A&M apart. The touchdown pass he threw to Mason Taylor was gorgeous. You hit Aaron Anderson on a slant, big play. They hit on some third downs. Like, LSU looked really good throwing the ball. And then Mike Elko with that home crowd and Nick Scorton and a good defensive front, they went, all right, we're coming at you. And they started blitzing. And LSU cracked a little bit. And Nussmeier cracked. He took sacks. He made poor decisions. He made turnovers. And you got to think Mike Elko is going to look at that and go, that's the recipe. Now, Joe Sloan was there for that too and can build in some screens and can get the ball out quickly, and that's all LSU really does anyway. But ultimately, you're going to have to make some plays down the field. You're going to have to throw the ball. And Texas A&M's pass rush is really good, and I just don't have confidence that LSU can pick that up. I don't know that they can. I don't know that they can pick up blitzes, and I'm confident they can't win one-on-ones. And while this is just me talking, Garrett Nussmeier's lived this. And this is my opinion. This is not rooted in fact. Garrett's certainly not going to say this. Brian Kelly's certainly not going to say this. This is my opinion from watching games. My opinion is that Garrett Nussmeier is not confident in his offensive line, specifically the edges. And he's not standing up there and planting his back foot and ripping the ball down the field. When he stood back in that pocket with that offensive line last year, as much as they struggled to run block, they were elite at picking up blitzes and keeping him clean. And he trusted that. And for a lot of the season, he sat back there and ripped it, and he racked up 4,000 yards. And I don't think he has that trust with this group. And I certainly don't think losing his left tackle, Tyree Adams, helps with that. Certainly not when he gets into the film room to go over the tape in Nashville and sees his new left tackle getting flat-backed in a one-on-one and a huge sack in a critical spot. Like, that's just not going to inspire a lot of confidence from the LSU quarterback. So if he is gun-shy back there, that's even worse. And there are some things you can do to try to slow down the pass rush. You can run the ball by firing off the line. You can handle screens. You can help chip with the tight end or the running back. But, like, you limit yourself when you just throw short, when you just bring your running back in to protect and not out in the route, when you bring in a tight end to help protect and he's not out on the route as quickly. You're limiting what you can do offensively. Sometimes you got to help, and there are some guys in football, whether it's the college ranks or the NFL ranks, even down to the high school ranks, that you've got to deal with. But it feels like LSU's got that on both sides now. And it just paints a grim picture about LSU trying to lean on its strength and not being able to. And I think that's a scary proposition for this LSU offense to consider. Like, hey, we'd like to throw it around a little bit. Hey, we can't block these guys. And you had a plan against Clemson and executed it. But ultimately, how many points did you score in that game? Not a lot. And you've shown that you can complete a lot of passes to the perimeter. You can throw that wide receiver screen time and time again, and you'll complete it, and usually you'll get 2 or 3 yards. But there's got to be more. And for more to happen, you got to pass block better. And I don't see anything that's lending itself to me believing, hey, LSU's going to make some adjustments and they're going to get better protecting the passer come Saturday against Texas A&M's 6th-ranked pass rush in the country. That's just the way that I see it at this point. So I think there are some spots in this game that I like LSU's personnel, but in LSU's greatest perceived strength on the offensive side, I see issues. Now, if they can block them, I think LSU can win down the field. That just remains to be seen, and we haven't thus far. So that's kind of your first look at LSU and Texas A&M. Kickoff a little after 6:45 on Saturday. Monitoring the weather apprehensively. Looks like some of that rain may be pushing to Sunday, which would be great. I have heard from multiple people that are not coming to this game. And I've got a fear. I thought this for a little bit, but I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm just going to lay it out there. This is fear. It's not reality yet. It is fear. It is not reality. I have a fear about Saturday. My fear is that LSU fans are cranky. My fear is that LSU fans who are cranky look at the forecast and go, I'm not going to this game. My fear is that Texas A&M, who has never won anything ever, is really excited. And they have a lot of money. And they get to the secondary market and they flood this place. And my fear is that a cranky fan base that doesn't show up, that sells tickets to Texas A&M, creates a lot of maroon in that stadium on Saturday. And my fear is that A&M gets a second-half lead. And then that lead grows. And then the fans that did decide to show up in purple and gold leave. And then these folks who have never been excited about anything since I've been alive take over that stadium. That's my fear. I don't want it to become a reality. It doesn't have to become a reality. But I've talked to LSU fans who are not going. I know that Texas A&M fans are motivated. And the possibility exists that happens. And you can say you're such a complainer, Hunt. You're such a whiner. You're such a pessimist. And you can say all these things. And I didn't say that's what's going to happen on Saturday. I just fear it. And it'll be that if that does come to pass, you can take UAB. I was there. You can take Troy. I was there. You can take the Yeldon screen. I was 15 yards from him. It'll be among the saddest times of my time in Tiger Stadium if that happens on Saturday night. if there's anybody out there in purple and gold that is thinking about selling those tickets and just going to toss them up on SeatGeek and a Houston area code shows up and you just fire away, let's try to prevent that. Ultimately, it's up to the players. They got to do it. But that fear is uncomfortable. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.